Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the critically acclaimed Pop the Trunk Podcast Hall of Fame. Oh, dang, I messed up my glasses. Recency Bias Radio. With me, of course, is your humble host, Dave Smith, Pretty Boy Smitty, Protocol Paul, Pearl Game Ultra, Smith Dog Trill, The Rant God, Hotep Thanos, Metro Kaiba, all of the above on that ISET test, and ACT. You know what it is. And this is where no one is safe from criticism, ladies and gentlemen. In this rant, I believe this is the 26th rant, if I'm not mistaken, of Big Brother 22 Allstars. This rant will be entitled Crabs in a Barrel, but make no mistake about it, ladies and gentlemen, this is part 2 of the Divide and Conquer rant, ladies and gentlemen, but this one has to be exclusively provided to the patrons because y'all are on the same frequency as me. Y'all are on the same wavelength, and have y'all noticed something? We get more professional behind me. You see that? Yeah. I've been investing the money you all have been investing into me to make sure my content can be better quality. And eventually, we're going to have that whole back wall filled up. It's going to be clean, coach. That's why I tried to wear something not dark so I wouldn't, low-key be invisible. All you can see is my face. But, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk that hot stuff tonight. I'm really excited. I'm really excited. It looks like the connection is a little bad. I'm going to try to put my phone on airplane mode. Hopefully, it's not my phone that's causing this lag, ladies and gentlemen, and my apologies. But in this rant, ladies and gentlemen, make no mistake about it, I'm coming for Davon and Kevin's neck. I'm coming for him, coach. And I'm not finna hold nothing back, yo. I'm not finna hold nothing back. Because at the end of the day, understand, when I dropped that divide and conquer rant, I knew it would divide certain people in this community. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, I have never been someone scared to give my opinion. What I want people to understand before I get into this rant is, the amount of courage it took for me to say what I said is understated. Because in this community specifically, if you were to just take the black community and put them in their own bubble, understand straight black men probably make up 10% of this community. The other 90 is probably black women and gay black men. The reason why it's so important for me to bring up how we are the least protected is because we have the least number count in the community. So it's expected. But if everyone is saying they are on code, there is no excuse to selectively act like, well, Davon can be a coon because we worship her, but David can't because we don't. See, that video, ladies and gentlemen, it exposed a lot of people. You know, the type of people who wouldn't even support my channel. They think all of a sudden their opinion should matter on this topic. Like, I saw people bringing up dumb points. I'm not even going to bring up their dumb points all the way. Because at the end of the day, their points, they were talking to a brick wall, coach. Let's be real here. I baited a lot of people into essentially showing me that they aren't pro-black. They're just black feminists. See, I was able, in one video, in 44 minutes and 15 seconds, I was able to expose the majority of these people in this community that claim to be woke ain't woke. They just worship certain women in this community, and they act like they can do no wrong. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to base everything I say off of that trampoline, and we're going to get it jumping in here, all right? Because I just got done watching Sunday night's episode. I jumped on code with the majority of you all. I did not watch that last night. Man, I had such a good Sunday. Man, when you talk about, and see, here's the thing, I'm not even as reliant on sports anymore. But man, the fact that I didn't have to go live last night, I would have missed some of the best sports events of the year. Last night was incredible. I'm like, wow. Now, of course, I'm not talking about sports in this rant, ladies and gentlemen. But my point is, yesterday was important. I saw several other people. Shout outs to Alex Kidwell. He jumped on code with us, and he didn't even do his Twitch stream. That means something to me. It might not mean something to everyone. It means something to me. So I want to give him a quick shout out because from an ally perspective, that dude has always done what he's needed to do to separate himself from the Terrans of the world. And that's why I rock with him. And I'd argue that's why he didn't stay with RHAP. But that's a whole nother topic for another discussion. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, I need you to understand something. There's a reason why these white media outlets only allow the black women who swirl with white men and the gay black dudes in this community to be on their channel. It's because those people aren't threatening to them. Those people are safe picks because they know they won't offend their majority demographic. Who does that sound a lot like? Production in the casting department. Understand, these white media outlets are using the same racist tactics to determine who their guests are that CBS used to determine who their house guests are. All of this is one-to-one, and that's why they usually share the same sponsors, y'all. Are y'all peeping this? See, I'm trying to wake y'all up on a different plane. See, I'm so ahead of the game. I've been so ahead of this strategy. I don't even have to talk really about the strategy because the strategy this week is trash. That's why people are so mad, y'all. They're mad because I was the one person in this community that's a straight black man that has the credibility of defending black women in the past with the resume to back it up that could truly hold people accountable. There's no one else who could have did it. Death Row can't do it. That motherfucker, he got a white wife. You feel what I'm saying? Dizzy dude, that dude probably wants to sleep with white men. Amon Adwin, same thing. All of these dudes, if they had it their way, their idea of beauty ain't a black man and they're gay black men. So I need to keep driving this point home that the self-hate is real. Only self-hate would make someone mad that you want the community to improve by making everyone more accountable. Who is mad about that? A crab in a barrel. And that's why this rant is called Crabs in a Barrel, y'all. Because what I've been seeing from Davon and Kevin has been complete crab mentality. Like, okay, so Davon calls this dude Uncle Tom on Sunday night's episode. They don't even air it, which I'm okay with because I didn't want them to air it. I'm more okay with them not airing it than I am with them airing it. But with that said, for them to make this a one-sided argument, okay, first of all, in the edit, Davon is implying David made her game 2 times worse, but it was Danny and Nicole who did that. Production is low-key laughing at Davon, crying in their face in the DR, keeping a straight face. They let all these white girls know about how the outside world perceives them, and you literally got Davon crying tears in front of the same production team that weaponized and enabled these white witches to put Davon on the trajectory to be caught up in this bullshit this week. Understand, this is 5D chess these racists are playing. And that's why we have to be accountable. Because if we're not accountable, how the fuck are we going to stay on code? That's my point. There are people trying to tell me, oh, at the end of the day, I didn't appreciate how you cursed at Davon and Kimmy. So you're mad because I cursed? All the other rants I've done in the past, ladies and gentlemen, when I've cursed to defend black women, I never heard that from them then. Now all of a sudden, oh, because you cursed at them. Okay, so a black woman can call a straight black man an Uncle Tom, but if I curse in response to her cooning, I'm in the wrong. I'm not representing an entire group of people like Davon is. What the fuck are y'all talking about? And see, this is why I wanted this to be a Patreon exclusive rant, y'all. Because to keep it all the way funky with you, this is why I be micro-dosing content to the public. The public not ready for it. They're not. That's why I say spend that 5, bro. Spend that 5. Learn something, my G. You feel me? Invest in yourself, my guy. The problem is, though, that crab in a barrel self-hate mentality also stems with certain people not wanting to even spend $5 on you. So understand, when I'm defending David in these situations, it's because I'm a black content creator on YouTube. I experienced some of the most blatant racism anyone could imagine. Anyone. Gay black men don't have it as hard as us. Are you serious? The game is rigged for you to be gay and get plugged. Literally and physically and figuratively. But that's neither here nor there. The game is rigged. Oh, you're willing to get popped in the ass? You can make $1 million next year. That's how Hollywood is set up. So understand, ladies and gentlemen, when I see gay black men comment under my channel trying to tell me, oh, the minute you said straight black men aren't protected, okay, bye. Yeah, by saying okay, bye, you showed me your sexuality. But something tells me you didn't just grow up one day and start talking with a lisp. You had to train yourself to be that way, meaning you're fighting yourself to be who you think you are. That's self-hate. So a dude with self-hate can never check me on what's woke and what isn't. My guy, the most woke thing you can do as a black man is to procreate with a black woman and have a successful black family that has black excellence emitting from their aura. That's the best thing you can do. But when I see people selectively give black women a pass for the same things during BB21, once again, I didn't cover that season. You all know that. That's why we're on Patreon now, right? But do you remember how people came together in flash mobs planning to shut down David's Instagram when he got out that house? Remember that? I don't see anyone planning to shut down Davon's social media. So the energy is fluctuating, coach. It's fluctuating. And that's the thing. David didn't do nothing wrong. He's literally being hated because he wasn't aware of racist things said about him and Kimmy. How can you defend something you're not aware of? Y'all want this motherfucker to learn ESP and read minds just to defend Kimmy, who would rather fuck Paul after blackface anyway? What is wrong with people in this community, B? Like, these people are mentally ill, yo. And see, this is more proof that we all need therapy. But what people don't understand is they are making it harder for David, and he is going to need a lot more therapy than any of us because he's going through this twice. You can say whatever you want about Davon being played by Nicole twice, but she volunteered to get played by Nicole twice. David, he came into this season thinking, I could finally get a normal Big Brother experience. He walks into a giant pregame alliance of White Walkers, and he's like, what the fuck? You know? Davon treats this motherfucker like he was supposed to be the three-eyed raven or something, like he Bran Stark. What do you want this man to do? He can't see the future, Day. These are your friends fucking y'all over, Day. How the hell can you blame this dude for ruining your game and making it 2 times worse when your friends are subjecting you to this trauma, Day? Where's the accountability at? And keep in mind, y'all, the same women that are mad at me holding Davon accountable for her actions are the same women that still listen to Cardi B after she admitted to drug, robbing, and raping men. So who really is the least protected here? A woman can admit to rape and they go, yes, queen, yes. Let's be real here. Have we ever seen this community, in the Big Brother community, because people try to act like and play semantics gymnastics with me. Oh, is he talking about the Big Brother community or in general? Because if he's talking about it in general, he's out of pocket. Clearly, I'm talking about the Big Brother community. This is a BB22 rant, dumbass. What is the fucking hashtags above my video? Big Brother 22. Why the hell would this be just in general? Why would I be posting this shit on YouTube if it wasn't in general? I wouldn't care that much. If it was in general, I'd post it to Patreon. Because y'all the real generals in this community. But understand, ladies and gentlemen, we got people out here that listen to hot girl shit, which is essentially just succubus content. If we're being honest with ourselves, it is the content of a Jezebel. They're trying to make you into a sinful container, and they're trying to make you value yourself less, which incentivizes self-hate. So when I see people try to come up to me and try to imply I'm off code for trying to make sure everyone stays on code, it's laughable. It is laughable. You know, the same people who weren't woke 3 years ago are now trying to act like they're woker than me? I'm Hotep Thanos. Do these niggas even know what Hotep means? Seriously. Like, this shit is hilarious. And that's why when I get to criticizing Davon and Kevin, it's like, yo, what is wrong with you two? Kevin, you go home to a white man. Your central thesis and purpose for being on this season is just so you can adopt a baby so you can raise it in a gay household with a white man. Now, let me ask y'all this question. Do you think Kevin is going to try to adopt a black baby if he wins the game? Based off his self-hate, I bet you that kid's going to be white. I bet you. But somehow, Kevin is higher up the woke list in Davon's mind than David. Imagine that. Kevin had the nerve to say David is a slave to his masters, but he voluntarily picked a descendant of a slave master to sleep with and marry. What are we doing here? Hey, this a classic already. Oh my God, I'm going off. See, this is why I write notes, because sometimes I just remember my notes and I can freestyle. You feel me? This is what you're going through. They're in the vortex right now, ladies and gentlemen. I'm finna go off. All right. I'm watching the episode. Like I said, the Uncle Tom thing wasn't aired. Then you see David walk away. Then you see Davon essentially try to use the angry black stereotype against David. But hold up. During the Christmas fight, Davon was the person. Wasn't Davon the person who went outside in the backyard and started crying? It's not fair. They're just going to edit me to look like the aggressor. She literally starts an argument with David, gets mad over him raising his voice. Kevin walks in to instigate. Why are you shaking your head, David? Why the fuck can't I shake my head, bitch? That's what David should have said. But you know what? He playing the game and he trying to be the only motherfucker in there on code. So he trying to let y'all slide with the fuckery. But seriously, Kevin, who the fuck are you to walk up to someone and say, why are you showcasing that nonverbal communication? What? I can't shake my head no more, B? Come on, B. And see, Davon's so dumb. Kevin instigated that fight so Davon would be guaranteed to go home over him. Kevin is low-key a shice ball. He's a shice ball. And Davon, your decision-making skills are so bad, you can never convince anyone you're a good player ever again. And that's why your fan base is so butthurt. Because the little Jenga tower they tried to create as a shrine in your honor is falling slowly but surely. And it's because you allowed white people to build your building for you, Day. You didn't want the labor of black folks. You wanted the labor of these white folks. You wanted the approval of these white folks. You believed their statues had better quality. Okay? All right? Do you see what I'm saying here, ladies and gentlemen? We literally have Kevin and Davon fighting super hard for Tyler to use a veto. Come on, Tyler, use the veto. Davon is such a dumb player. She goes up to Tyler and tells him, I convinced Kevin, and me and him were one of the 5 votes that kept you, Tyler. Davon, why the fuck did you go off on David then for flipping if you kept Tyler? You think these white people are stupid, Day? If they knew about the big white alliance last week, why does she think this lie will fly with Tyler now? Especially since she called a black man an Uncle Tom based off the vote. The only reason why you would call him an Uncle Tom is if he kept Tyler. But now you're saying you and Kevin kept Tyler. So what are you and Kevin even mad about in the house? See, this doesn't make sense. So they claiming to Tyler that she and Kevin voted to keep him is just as stupid as Kevin walking up to Danny and saying, hey, here's the plan, Danny. You're prepped now to fuck us. It's the same thing. No wonder why these two love each other. They're both dumb. They're both dumb. I ranked Kevin second place in WTF. Do you think I want to say this shit? I don't like being wrong, y'all, but I'm right about this. Come on, man. Like, Tyler has no incentive to use the veto this week, yo. No incentive. And Tyler was real cheeky. He said, oh, how the tables have turned, right before he spoke today. Then Day runs up to all these white people. Tyler's not going to use the veto. He said the tables have turned. Can y'all save me? And these white people are like, we're going to try to work on him, Day. Danny's like, hey, let's come up with this plan, Day. Nicole's like, hey, let's come up with this plan, Day. Deep down, Nicole ain't willing to risk her game for your ass. She wasn't willing to risk her game for Ian. And she lost sponsors for Ian. She definitely ain't doing shit for you. In her mind, I gave you $5K, bitch. Move along. That's what Nicole is thinking. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it funky. And you see Danny snickering in the Sunday night episode. I did this. Yeah, David. Show us the real you, David. And this was the girl all the Davon stands said, she's protecting Davon. I like Danny now. Never forget who was the first to expose Danny and Nicole. It was me. It was me. And I ranked Danny, what, top 4? WTF 2? Enzo was 1, and I believe 3 was Tyler. No, Tyler was 5. Actually, I think, yeah. Davon was 3. Danny was 4. Tyler was 5. So at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, Kevin is going to outlast Day. And then Kevin and Day, they come up with this idea. Let's do a Hail Mary. And see, here's the thing. Kevin is already aware of the fact that Memphis already told him he's staying this week. Kevin has no incentive to help Davon come up with some Hail Mary plan to get Tyler to use the veto. Because he knows if Tyler doesn't use the veto, it could blow up in his face and he could be sent home over her. Now, the thing is, Kevin, you're not going to be sent home over her. They've already connected her to Danny and Nicole with the 3-person alliance. By Davon choosing Christmas to be a have-not, Christmas wants Davon to go badly on top of Tyler. So if you got both of them pushing to Memphis that they need to go, odds are Memphis is going to be down with that type of demonstration. Then when you add the fact that Cody has already walked back his want to get rid of Kevin first, now he's okay with getting rid of Dave first. And Enzo's okay with getting rid of Dave first. So all the numbers are pointing to Dave's going home. And here I thought David would be backdoored because Dave did all that cooning. This is some when cooning goes wrong type shit, Dave. You did all of that. You claim this man hurt your game 2 times. You got Kevin saying his credit score is negative 3,000. Where the fuck do you get these numbers from, Kevin? Because you said there was a 5% chance Nicole flipped on y'all dumbass and she did the shit. So that lets me know your percentages are trash, my guy. You need to go back to college algebra class. Let's keep it a bean. Oh, absolutely, Ubong. She completely ruined her legacy, my guy. She blew a 3-1 lead, my guy. Literally. Like, she literally had AFP. Bro, hold on. Let me think. Okay, I got a good sports analogy for y'all. She literally was like the 2013 Spurs before Ray Allen hit that shot. She literally had the confetti was about to fly from the ceiling in San Antonio. All right? She had the AFP locked up. All she had to do was get 1 rebound, and it was done. She's good, B. She's good. She got the AFP, the 5K, the jury stipend. She's Gucci Louis Prada. This chick decided, nah, fuck that. I've done too much cooning to go out second juror. I'ma keep cooning. And she literally said, fuck the AFP, because I'd rather have the 500K. Well, Day, you're not going to get either one now with your dumb ass. I mean, this is just... And see, normally I'd feel so bad about a black person getting fucked like this. But when they put themselves on such a high perch of being holier than thou, of being this person that I can associate with white folks, but you can't. You have to rely on me, and I'll be the middleman that's the overseer that allows you to conduct yourself around those white folks. That was Davon, yo. Davon pretty much played this entire season as if she was a mulatto in ancient Haiti. She acted like she was a mulatto in ancient Haiti, yo. If any of y'all have seen 1804, The Hidden History of Haiti, that movie truly breaks it down how snitching on the people trying to get rebellion, trying to get liberated. That's Kevin and Day. They're the mulattoes. And this is coming from a light-skinned brother. I'm keeping it all the way funky with y'all, yo. This is the same exact analogy. As long as they keep these people, as long as they feel like they're above those other people over there, they're okay with where they're at. The minute those people over there get above them, then they're mad. But as long as they stay behind them, that's the crab in a barrel mentality, y'all. No one's getting out if I can't. It's like Saw. It's like the movie Saw. Like, it's nuts, yo. It's nuts. Like, production need to let her know. Since they want to let everybody else know how they being perceived outside that, they need to tell, hey, man, you need to take that African pendant off. You've been canceled. You know what I'm saying? Take them dashikis off. You feel it, Demi? Wear some normal clothes in this motherfucker. All right? You know what I'm saying? Stop complaining. All right? And see, it's really sad because last week I truly believe Day finally earned her spot in All-Stars from a strictly strategic standpoint. You know, how do you go from being on code so much to being off so badly? It truly makes me think some acting is at play here, man. You know, it really does, man. This is nuts, man. You know, but I just can't believe Kevin during yesterday's episode had the nerve to try to imply David is the biggest liar in the house. Like, Kevin, You are truly tone deaf. The majority of these white players view you as the biggest rat and liar in the game. The majority of the information you share with other people comes from secondhand knowledge that's deliberately meant to mislead you and your alliance members, Kevin. Kevin was one of the people who gave Bailey false information, which allowed her to make some errors when she was already leaving out the house. So understand, Kevin has always been the type of guy, anyone but me. And I'm not mad at that type of gameplay if you're not the one calling David a slave to his masters. See, once you start trying to dictate someone else's blackness, then I gotta be extra hard on how black you are. See, that's the thing. The people who hate my last rant, they keep forgetting that. If they don't do that, I don't even have that rant. But somehow I'm wrong because I hold people accountable. It's nuts, man. It's nuts. But this once again proves my point. So each person commenting, mad as hell, you're proving my point. I'm not saying you can't have constructive criticism, but what I am saying is at the end of the day, the way people can just, in 2 seconds, come up with an excuse or hesitate to hold Day accountable, but that same hesitation is not prevalent when it ever comes to a straight black man making a mistake, that is my point. No one even tries to defend the straight black man. Yeah, people might defend Swaggy here and there because he's with Bailey, who they worship. Let's be real. But before he proposed to her, motherfuckers was kind of clowning Swaggy, remember? Remember Ricky Williams during Celebrity Big Brother, US 2? Before he took Tamar to the end and went to Final 2 with her to ensure Tamar won the game, everyone called him a coon too. Just because he had a white wife, remember that? But in the game, Tamar was the one with all the white friends. I'm not shitting on Tamar. I'm just getting y'all to see this has history behind it as proof that what I'm saying is true. Remember Anthony Douglas, BB Can 7. The brother made Final 2. No one says he's a king. I never see anyone calling him a king. What? People might say he got robbed, but I don't hear king. But he played a better game than Day and Bay ever did, but he's not a king. I'm saying these exactly, Ubong. They hated Swaggy. They only loved him once he wifed Bailey. And that's why I'm trying to get y'all to see. The love for the straight black man is always connected to what he's doing to fall on his sword for the black woman in this community. But when it comes to the love for the black woman, it never has to be attached to what she does for the black man. It never has to be. That's what it is. That's what it is. You feel me? And this is why I'm truly Hotep Thanos. This is why I'm the only guy who could have come up with this type of a rant last time. And this is why I'm the only guy who can back up that rant with great context this time. It's because I've been this guy from the start. I'm not imitating people. See, the majority of people in this community are trying to imitate my style now because they see in the algorithm it's working. They're like, oh man, shit, we got to be like this guy. He's the truth. Now, they won't give me a shout out because then they won't have their fan base anymore. So it becomes cultural appropriation. Or it becomes, let's invite Kimmy on RHAP so she could defend herself, but we're not going to invite any straight black man to give the straight black man perspective on why Kimmy's out of pocket. Do you see how Taryn is full of shit? Do you see it? He's dividing and conquering in the black community right now just by inviting Kimmy. He knew what he was doing there, and she took that invite because Kimmy deep down loves white approval herself. So she ran to RHAP for that platform to talk. And you got Kimmy out here talking about, I didn't tell Davon anything about David. I just told her about my experience in the game. Kimmy, you're only known based off of your experience connected to David. like what is she talking about? Like, she's acting like the police just showed up at her house and asked her about a murder or something. Like, she's like, I plead the fifth. She acting like Dave Chappelle, coach. Keep it real, Kimmy. You told Davon enough information for her to come into this game with a confirmation bias. Davon low-key didn't expect David to be on this season, so it wasn't really that serious for her to address online like that. But when Josh got COVID, most likely David replaced him because he's the other ethnic guy they had in quarantine. That's probably how everything happened. People are saying Keisha was a replacement for KC. I'm not sure if that's true as well, but I'm just saying, at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, all these things are connected. So when I see Kimmy splaining, understand that's her trying to save her reputation. When I see Davon on last night's episode doing everything she can to throw David under the bus to justify her terrible gameplay, let's be real. That was also Davon trying to preserve her reputation. To be honest, Davon did the same thing that Nicole did last week. But people ain't ready to have this conversation yet. Davon looked out for her reputation in that Sunday night episode over being on code. That's what she did. When her reputation is very reliant on the idea that she's always on code, which shows how rattled she is in the strategy department. She is relying on tactics that she would have never relied on if Bailey was still in the game. Bailey would have been the voice of reason. What the hell are you? What? Huh? What are you thinking? And that's why Davon is so rattled. That's why she's so salty. You know? Your game's up, Day. Your game's up. That's the truth. You know? And then you got Kevin telling David, well, the reason why we don't believe you is because, that twist that you used, you lied to us initially about that as well. But he eventually told y'all and told no one else. Oh, you thought he told other people before he told you now. Okay, Kevin. But here's the thing, Kevin. I'm willing to bet you wouldn't have told many people either. You probably would have kept that to yourself or only told Day yourself. Okay? So once again, these are people holding David to a standard that he shouldn't even be held to because everyone knows he doesn't understand the game. Why are we holding him to the standard like he's Anthony Douglas or something? Davon is the one everyone propped up to be Danielle Reyes 2.0. Let's be real here. They propped her up to be that when she didn't do anything to deserve that reputation. That's the thing. And that's why in the last rant I said, we need to stop standing people just because they're attractive. They have to actually do something in the game worth standing. I'm seeing people now grasping at straws, trying so hard to make sure Davon still wins AFP. Oh, look at this video of Davon's reaction. She'll be another GIF queen. Who cares? Why is that even on y'all minds right now? She just called a black man an Uncle Tom, and you want to talk about how good she looks doing this? What the fuck? That Uncle Tom comment should take precedent over whatever GIF you try to create for her. But once again, the straight black man is not protected. He's not protected. These people will look at a GIF and be like, man, that's more fly than racism. I mean, that's more important than racism. And mind you, these are the same people who any other time, if a black woman deals with racism, they're all over that shit. But when Davon, when she dives into the racism, it's like, well, come on, y'all. Let's come on. Let's wait till she gets out the house, y'all. Let's wait till she gets out the. She's gonna hold herself more accountable than we ever would, y'all. What the fuck are you talking about? Y'all motherfuckers were planning to shut down David's entire social media life. But when it's Davon, she's gonna hold herself accountable, guys. Let's chill out. What? Are you kidding me? How do you know she's gonna hold herself accountable? She's a stranger. How are you so sure what Davon will do, but coming out of 21, you weren't sure at all that David could possibly be accountable himself? Where does that come from? Y'all see what I'm doing? I'm showing y'all. This is irrefutable at this point. Anyone trying to argue or debate me on this, they're fighting a losing battle. They're fighting a losing battle. You feel me? Bro, they legitimately bullied David, dog. They bullied him. They bullied him just as bad as Jackson and the other jack-off did. Let's be honest. And they bullied him off of something that he had no control over. like this is almost like, okay, imagine this is Roots. Imagine Kunta Kinte gets whipped first. And then as soon as Kunta Kinte's lady gets whipped, all of a sudden everybody get mad. Y'all didn't give a fuck when Kunta Kinte got whipped? What's going on here? Maybe if y'all would have cared when he got whipped, maybe she doesn't get whipped. But we're not ready for that conversation either. See that? And what Davon doesn't understand is, and see, this is another thing. I got a hot take for y'all. I think production convinced Memphis to not go after David because Davon called him an Uncle Tom. And because the White House guests know Davon gave them an out to not look racist if they get rid of her this week. They were looking for a way, after Bailey got sent home, they were looking for a way to get rid of Davon without coming off as racist as Christmas did. That's why Danny protected Davon. Understand, Memphis is very aware of these optics. Okay? So as long as Memphis isn't the one who actually took out David, as long as Tyler doesn't use the veto, the handshake deal he came up with David, technically in David's mind, is still valid because he didn't cross him. This is something Danny should have did to uphold her Final Four deal with Tyler, or Final Six deal. Tyler won her up. But you see what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? I think production, I think they saw a valuable moment here to cut Davon. And I think they know you gotta cut Davon safe because her fan base are irrational. Okay? This is how production are thinking. They're irrational. They got mad over the Bailey shit, but Davon just gave us the opportunity to not look irrational because she just went nuclear on David and they went out of their way. Ladies and gentlemen, I've never seen an episode where 10 minutes of it was a complete flashback. I've never seen that. They did all of that to provide context to show you all that these two white women are masterminding this. Davon is a complete dumbass. Kevin is a deer in headlights. And David is innocent, but he's being called guilty. They showed us all of that in 10 minutes of a flashback last night. But they wouldn't show Davon calling him an Uncle Tom to preserve her reputation just enough so it doesn't look like racist gameplay that sends her home. Understand what's going on here. This is 5D chess, y'all. And unfortunately, I seem to be the only motherfucker who know how to play 5D chess in this community. Out of all the other content creators, it seems like they don't know what they're doing. It seems like they don't know what they're doing. Either that or they act dumb because they're trying to protect some financial interests or whatever. And that's the majority of the white ones. But at the same time, ladies and gentlemen, look, man, I would be remiss not to bring up all of these key points. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, I will be answering questions. So now let's get into the feeds talk, ladies and gentlemen. I've been freestyling this the majority of the time, but now I think this is the right time to provide notes. That way you all know exactly how I felt while watching some of these things. Now, if I see some things that I want to jump on a tangent with, I will continue the freestyle, but I need to drive this point home. Kevin called David a slave to his masters because he still believed David flipped. David already told him it was Nicole who did it, but since Day and Kevin are crabs in the barrel that lack courage, they would rather come up with a Hail Mary plan to convince Tyler to use the veto instead of just confronting Nicole. And that's another problem. You know, they could have all confronted Nicole as a group of three and said, look, if you don't tell us what really happened, you don't get our jury vote. That type of pressure makes Nicole's pipes burst. But instead, Davon just keeps coming up to her 1v1. Come on, hey, girlfriend, remember me? I'm the one who rewarded you with $500K. And see, isn't that another thing that's interesting? When the Challenge 35 was going down, remember all the people who shitted on Bailey because they created a narrative that she was mad at Casey and jealous of her relationship with Nani because she believed Casey owed her for rewarding her with $500K? I don't really see these same people clowning Davon for being a complete dumbass for rewarding the same woman with $500K and getting played the same exact way all over again. I don't see it. And keep in mind, Davon fought with Zakiya in her first season with Nicole, which was low-key kind of instigated by Nicole. By the time it made the jury house, it low-key kind of was, because Nicole was working with Paulie, okay? Let me go ahead and open that up. But also this season, she managed to fight more with black people than white people as well. That one Christmas fight pales in comparison to all the other fights she had with black people this season. She had an argument with Bailey. She had a legit fight with David. We saw she had another fight with David that didn't even make it on TV where she said Uncle Tom. So understand, ladies and gentlemen, Davon figures out a way to always fight with a black person on these seasons. The only reason why she didn't fight with a black person on her original, because there were no other black people on her original season, right? So do you see this? She's the one everyone claims is super woke, but she has shown us through action that she won't hesitate to give production the angry black stereotype that they want, and she also won't hesitate to weaponize that stereotype against someone else that's black. Which once again shows when Davon does it, it's okay, but if someone else does it, it's a no-no. Now, this Hail Mary plan itself, Kevin isn't willing to do because Memphis told him he will stay if veto isn't used. So make no mistake about it here. Kevin is purposefully misleading Davon, and he's gaslighting her to hate David more, so she blows up off the liquor and seals her own fate. So imagine that. Davon protected Kevin so much this entire game, even cared more for him than she cared for Bailey, if we're being honest here. And that's another thing. Davon has an affinity for gay guys. Remember Jason Roy? Now Kevin, right? She acts like gay dudes are more important in her life than black men. That's how she acts, but let's continue. And he still is willing to sacrifice Davon here with no remorse. He claims there's a 98% chance Tyler won't use the veto, but it really is 100%. The 2% doesn't exist, but that's the false hope he is gaslighting Day with. That was a rhyme. Let's get some water. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I'm bringing that smoke tonight. Today it's sunlight out. You feel the dig me? Hey, man, I got to give y'all a good rant, man. Man, listen, I didn't even want to give the public that rant, but I said, if I don't say this, no one will, man. That's the weight on my shoulders, yo. I gotta do it. Like, I can't depend on any of these fucking cowards to do it on YouTube. All right, let's continue. Davon is so dumb. Why go off on David for flipping if you're just going to lie to Tyler's face and act like you and Kevin kept him? Tyler isn't dumb. If these two truly voted to keep him, she wouldn't have been mad at David at all, and she definitely wouldn't have called him an Uncle Tom. This tells me Davon is rattled because her strategy this week contradicts not only what her brand stood for, but it also makes her look like more of a giant fool to believe the same people who kept Tyler wouldn't tell him they were keeping him. Okay? And by her going out of her way to make it seem like she can find... my fault. So by her going out of her way to make it seem like she convinced Kevin to keep Tyler, she is using crab in a barrel tactics to get Tyler to look at her in a better light than Kevin. So she's even using these tactics towards Kevin. She's not just using these towards David. She's just nicer towards Kevin because she knows he's gay. You see that? People are more scared of offending gay folks than their own. Even when the gay person don't even identify as black, okay? See, we're exposing this. Now, peep game. So make no mistake about it. And also, remember that speech she said about how black trans lives matter? What the fuck does that got to do with you, Davon? That was her begging. That was her pandering, yo. That was pandering. What the fuck that got to do with Breonna Taylor? Not a damn thing. Okay? Now, let's continue. So make no mistake about it. Once that veto isn't used, these two calling David a coon and a slave will be forced to turn on each other. Kevin has already began to turn on Dave because he was never on code to begin with. Come on, man. Kevin is a snake oil salesman. Anything he can to stay around, he gonna... Years ago, I said you'd be an all-star. But even though you saved me last week, you can get the fuck up out of here. That's Kevin, all right? Kevin just clings to people who make him feel protected. But have the nerve to call David a slave to his masters just further shows Bailey was all raised white about this clown. And it also shows Davon ruined Bailey's game to protect someone who jumped ship as soon as he had a chance to. Keep in mind, Kevin don't even need this money like Davon does. Kevin got money, y'all. That boy is a CEO of a company. I believe he got like a tech company. I believe he got a tech company of some sort, all right? So he's good, bro. He got like some Silicon Valley shit popping off, all right? So this dude got money. In my opinion, he has enough money to adopt a child now. But I think he wants that to be part of his jury speech, okay? You see what I'm saying? He's trying to tug at the white people's heartstrings by telling them, I'm married to a white man. I want a white baby. I have self-hate. Reward me. So in a way, him and Davon are kind of fighting the cooning Olympics right now. They're like, no, I'm the CEO of the year. No, I'm the CEO of the year. That's what's going on here. And I ain't talking about correction officer. Let's keep it a bean. Now, Kevin only wants the prize money to adopt a child and raise a kid in a gay interracial household. Now, nothing's wrong with that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not trying to imply that you can't co-parent or be a parent just because your sexuality. I'm not implying that at all. But what I am doing is showing y'all this is the last motherfucker who can question someone else's blackness. That's what I'm trying to get y'all to see. All right. Would a guy with as much self-hate as Kevin even adopt a black child? Something tells me he wants to win this game to raise a white child. So isn't that even more ironic? Davon treats white people and a gay man married to a white man better than the two black people who actually were on code this entire season. Expose. Nicole has already given up on trying to keep Davon because Christmas is telling her Danny's game is already compromised because of this. So Nicole has not only instigated a racially charged fight between black people while betraying Ian with her white girl crying technique, she also has managed to abandon Day right after this, even though Day is fighting David to prove to Nicole how much she trusts her. This is wild to me, yo. Why is it that David already connected the dots to Nicole being behind this, but Day hasn't yet? Isn't Day supposed to have a legendary read? Because Day has a need to appease white people more than black people, because black people already worship the ground she walks on. You see that? She thinks she's got us in the tuck. She thinks no matter what she does, she can do no wrong, so all she's focused on is appeasing white people now. You see that? She thinks that's what it'll take to win the game. That's what she thinks. Which she's not off on all the way, but the tactics implemented to try to move towards that win condition has been flagrant. Now let's continue. But yeah, so because Day has a need to appease white people more than black people because black people already worship her. Well, black people besides the recency bias radio family that. You feeling dig me, coach? I mean, I gotta keep it being. Hey, man. Hey, humble brag, man. She took black fans for granted, expecting us to ride unconditionally. But this is all blowing up in her face. So for her to correct Kevin and to tell him to call David a slave to his masters is too little too late, because she gave Kevin the permission to question David's blackness already by calling him Uncle Tom. This is why I said her actions will have ramifications. Remember what I said? Now, I saw David try to talk to Day on the hammock, which is the thumbnail, by the way. I mean, that was one of the most cringy conversations I've ever seen, man. I saw David try to talk to Day on the hammock, and she made the conversation all about how he's been sabotaging her game this whole season, which led to feeds being cut off for a minute or two. It's so easy to just blame David for why her game is trash, but she is the one who played 3 seasons, not him. That would be like if Bradley Beal blamed Rui Hashimura for why the Wizards didn't make the playoffs. Beal is a veteran leader in the locker room. Hashimura is a rookie dependent on Beal to stay even keel. Ooh, that was a bar. Hold up. The sports analogy is coming. Hold up. I'm a master at this. Placing so much responsibility and blame on a rookie is just stupid, because this can lead to the yips where players become draft busts. If Day had it her way, she would defeat this man mentally to the point where he self-evicts out of guilt so her and Kevin can keep relying on white women to survive. That's what this is. She's trying to guilt trip this brother into feeling like, you're right, I should do what Tyler lied to you that he was going to do a few weeks ago. That's basically what she's trying to get David to do. But calling him Uncle Tom is the wrong way to go about doing that. But what makes these two not slaves to their masters? They are literally doing what they think David is doing. Seriously. Davon even told Kevin she has to pin everything in the world on David to stay this week. But what also doesn't make sense is, if they think David is in a men's alliance, why do they also think they can convince these same men in control of this week to backdoor David? The only way they do it is if he isn't working with them. So her trying to get Tyler to backdoor David is also her admitting to the world she knows David really isn't working with them. Meaning she is either acting or she is one of the worst players in Big Brother history. There is no middle ground here, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, we talking that real shit now. See? All the Davon stands, they losing it right now, but it's the truth, coach. Now, and it's crazy how Davon knows David will vote for her no matter what to stay, but that doesn't win him any points with her, even though he's probably the only person that will give her a vote on Thursday. Isn't this funny? The guy you're saying is Uncle Tom is the only one willing to keep you this week. And I bet you them white girls, I bet you they vote to keep Kevin, with your goof ass. So imagine that. She's mad, calling him her saboteur, and he's the only person willing to give her a vote. David is too good of a person. I would have told Day to kick rocks on that damn hammock. But notice how she wasn't fighting him when he said he'd give her a vote. This shows she is only cool with him when he does her bidding. Facts. And if this wasn't bad enough, even after David told Day she had his vote, she's still scheming with Danny on how to throw David under the bus to Memphis and Tyler. Danny is out here manipulating Davon into cooning more by coming up with extravagant lies that involve Bailey's anxiety to get Tyler to take her off the block. Real talk. Like, they both admitted this was dirty. But how comfortable does this bitch Danny feel around you to believe she can bring up Bailey to use as strategy? Are you serious? This girl wanted Bailey out to weaponize you, Davon. Now she's using Bailey's name in vain to get you to bury yourself more? Ooh, I'm telling y'all, man, after Danny gets turned on, man, that jury house might have some real fights in it, man. Because this is personal, man. This ain't gameplay, yo. This is demonic. This is devilish, man. This is some Antichrist type shit going on. You feel what I'm saying? Like, nah, bruh. Nah. I ain't with this. I ain't with this. I didn't get it either, Rebel. I didn't really get the whole Bailey bringing up Bailey's anxiety. Like, how would that help Tyler? If Tyler wasn't going to self evict when Bailey was in the game, how the hell is blaming Bailey's anxiety on Bailey somehow do anything? Like, this lets me know they are just trying to appear to Davon and still trying to keep her, so she throws them a vote if they make final two. That's what this is all about. But at the end of the day, Davon, at a certain point, you got to go, why is all these people trying to get me to bury my game more? Because they're the ones who buried your game last week, Day. Ding, ding, ding. Come on, man. Do I got to do the Jeopardy? Ding, ding, doom, doom, doom. Shut your dumb ass up. I had to bring that back, man. Retro Rants is in the building. Retro Rant God is in the building. You feel me? Like, real talk, man. So at the end of the day, why is Danny even this comfortable with bringing up Bailey's mental health to Davon? It's because Danny was the one who made Day resent Bailey from the start of the game. It's like Danny has control over Davon's mind the way she entertains everything that comes out of Danny's mouth. Danny is truly spiraling out of control herself, but Davon is literally kamikazing at rapid speed. Okay, coach? She's nosediving. Straight up. And this just further shows how off-code Day is, because she wouldn't even check Danny for bringing Bailey's name up, despite the fact Danny chose Christmas to join the committee over Bailey initially. And Danny hasn't even told Davon about how she knows Christmas and Tyler have a final two. So her saying she plans to tell Christmas about Memphis to get Memphis to hear Danny out to save Day makes no sense, because Danny has been avoiding Christmas ever since she was forced to keep Tyler. Meaning, Danny is the worst possible person to help Day convince Tyler to use veto because Danny threw Tyler up last week. And by Danny not nominating Day over Tyler last week, she already revealed her cards to the rest of the men of the committee. So Danny is legitimately sending Davon on a suicide mission that's impossible just to appear as if she's still her protector. This is a shit show. And I just read that very fast, but that's why I had to go to these notes, because I know I can break down a lot of stuff very fast. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what's going on here. Hey, man, listen. David is in a lose-lose situation, Miss Holloway. He's in a lose-lose situation, you know? I truly feel bad for the brother, man. I feel bad for the brother, man. Man. He low-key had more restraint than I would have had, man. If two black people come up to me and accuse me of some dumb shit, boy, listen. When they know the dumb shit they're accusing me of, I'm not good enough of a player to think of on my own. Come on, man. Now, David asks Davon if she thinks he's a decent person outside of the game, and she wouldn't even say yes to it. Instead, she told him she doesn't know him well enough. But she also seems so sure about Nicole being a decent person, despite the fact the Rat Queen has played 2 seasons in a row now and fucked her both times. And let's also not forget, this is the 2nd season in a row Davon fought with black people more than white people. So this excuse doesn't fly with me. It's clear to me she thinks she knows him based off what Kimmy told her. For her to rely so heavily on Kimmy's warped bed wench perspective on David before him, it's clear to me she already has her mind made up on David not being a decent person. But since he's the only person willing to throw her goof ass a vote, she's not keeping it real on the hammock. Okay? She says she doesn't know him, but she knew Bailey and still allowed Danny to make her resent Bailey's marriage and friendship with Janelle. Facts. She also knows all these white folks, but they are laughing behind her back because she made their job so much easier this week. And production is laughing the most here. So this just further shows how dumb Davon was for trying to use the angry black stereotype against David on Sunday's episode. How can she be the one crying in the backyard during the Christmas fight because she knows they will edit her look like a certain way, but then 2 weeks later try to weaponize production systemic racism against a black man? Why is it only a stereotype when black women are involved? Why is that straight black men aren't included in this? This is what I'm talking about. This black Big Brother community is predominantly made up of black women and moist men. There is such a small percentage of straight black men watching this shit that our opinions aren't even heard unless we defend black women. Otherwise, this community treats us like the stepchild they never wanted. These are more facts. It's funny. I've defended black women on my platform for years. It's a big reason why I never crossed over to a more casual audience. If I cooned it out more, I'd probably have 100,000 subs right now. So I'm probably the only person in this community with the credibility to do what I did in the last rant. And that's why folks are so butthurt. They can't debate me on this, so everything becomes semantics gymnastics. Some women said I was wrong for cursing, but when I cursed in the past to defend black women, they didn't mind it. I'm seeing people say, we don't have to hold Day accountable because she hold herself accountable. I already said that. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, a chick that worships Cardi B can't question Hotep Thanos. But that gets back to the accountability point I just brought up. Why is it when Day coons on purpose, it's, let's not turn on her now. Let's wait until after the season to hear her out. But when it's David and BB21, none of these same Davon stands said, let's wait until David gets out the house. He will hold himself accountable. Do you not see the fluctuation of energy here? People were planning ways to shut down David's social media. They weren't giving that brother any chance to redeem himself because he's a straight black man and our voice doesn't matter in this community. But with that said, imagine how good I had to be for years to be the best analyst of this game as a straight black man in this same community that doesn't value our voice. It it took till this season for me to even get some recognition from other folks that ain't black. Imagine how much harder I've had to work to prove this compared to others in the same lane. When I defend David, I'll admit it. Part of it comes from my experience as a content creator in a racist community. Look at these white platforms, okay? All they do is invite people that are safe. And they do it because they know that they aren't on code, so it's a safer guest to bring. What separates me from those pussies is the fact that I never played it safe. So my constructive criticism of Davon also was an example of me keeping that same energy. So I'm fully aware that the black women who dislike that video don't understand my channel, and that's why I specifically said I'm not talking about all black women. They seem to forget that part of the video. When I said I'm not speaking for all black women in this community. Now, that doesn't fit their agenda. So they act like I never said it. Now, let's continue. I don't see anyone planning to shut down Davon's social media. They refuse to turn on their false deity. But the way this community shows no hesitation in turning on straight black men is exactly why I'm done with this after this season. This community doesn't deserve black folks as it is, but it really doesn't deserve me. So imagine my surprise to see black women criticizing my constructive opinion designed to make them hold themselves more accountable. Some women rendered all my work useless over the past few years just because I wouldn't let them play this double standard with the person they worship in Davon. Motherfucker, these people are weirdos. They will defend a total stranger more than they would defend their own family member. I clearly struck a nerve because all these puppets are dancing, trying to figure out a way to justify voting Day for AFP. But that shit is dead. And now that Kevin thinks it's okay to call David a slave to his masters, I don't know why black women are even mad at Kevin. That's Davon's boy. How does what Kevin said not fall on Davon's doorstep? I'm seeing people admit Bailey was right about Kevin, but they aren't also saying Davon is the reason behind Kevin saying this? So once again, people find a way to bash a man for something the woman is responsible for just because the woman is black. This is dangerous, y'all. This is dangerous. Day really is holding a grudge with David because she believes he's trying to pull her down to bring his game up. But that's actually what Day is trying to do to both Kevin and David this week to save her own ass. She wants Kevin to start dumb conversations to make himself a bigger target, and she even got frustrated because she couldn't convince him to fall on his sword by whispering to herself last night saying, now he want to start playing smart this week? But Day admitting Kevin has been terrible up to this point should also be an indicator that she takes it easier on him just because he's gay. If Kevin was straight, she might be going off on him too this week and treating him like David. So once again, Davon has kid gloves if you're gay and you're bad at the game. But if you're straight and you're bad at the game, she makes it seem as if it's personal. Oh man, she's getting dissected here. She's getting dissected. So this all comes back full circle to my initial argument in the last rant about Day having a problem with straight black men that she hasn't gotten over. Why is it okay for Day to drag Kevin and David to save herself, but then she jumps off code immediately when she suspects the same thing is done to her? Why does Day have special privileges other black players don't have in this community? What has she achieved to even earn these privileges? These questions these people can't answer. And if all these white people are her real life friends, why does she need to coon it up for them to keep her? Doom 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 doom. No one can answer that question. No one can answer that question. Why isn't Davon more mad about the idea she has to coon it up for her real friends in real life to keep her? Why is she more mad at the black men who are victims than she is at the offenders? Because Day is too prideful and too stubborn to admit she isn't good at this game. She is by far one of the most overrated players I have ever seen, and the defense attorneys out here defending her on social media are straight cornballs. Corny. Corny. I mean, geez, bruh. Y'all are corny. And why are only black women who play the game called queens? I've never seen the community rally behind a straight black man and call him a king. I've already said this, but these are facts, not opinions. Danny and Nicole got rid of Ian to please Cody. And now when they expect him to do them a solid, he says Day gotta go. Enzo is cool with Day going as well because Danny is pushing too hard for Kevin to go. And now Danny is becoming a huge target. Also, during the veto ceremony, Memphis specifically told Danny and Nicole, who were picked by Kevin and Davon, by the way, they didn't even pick David. David could have won the veto and took one of them off, and they could at least had a chance of all three staying this week, which wouldn't have happened. I mean, one of them would have won anyway. But at least David could have had an opportunity to prove to Davon that he was part of that vote by saving her. She didn't even give him that opportunity. She said, no, I trust these two white girls to save me. The same ones that set me up to be in this fight with you. Those are the ones I trust. And because Memphis told those two women to throw the veto, and because their times were so good, Memphis knows that they tried to win it to take Davon off, which is another reason why him and Tyler have decided to leave noms the same and to send Davon packing. So her decision by picking with her house guest choice is also a reason why she's leaving this week. She has made a lot of blunders here, man. A lot of blunders. So yeah. And now Danny is becoming a huge target, but Cody is trying to get the wise guys, formerly known as Team Freeze, to take out Christmas before Danny for his own game. Problem is, I think Enzo and Tyler prefer Christmas to stick around longer than Danny, so it's very likely that Tyler and Enzo could pivot from Cody to knock out Danny soon, and then Enzo could pivot back with Cody to blindside Tyler by taking out Christmas. So even when I give y'all this bullshit, when I explain the bullshit, I'm still gonna give y'all some gems hidden within, Coach. You know how I do. Now, right now, Enzo seems to be the most likely to win the game as well because he doesn't have any of the baggage others like Danny, Tyler, Nicole, and Christmas all have. In fact, Day has even said on feed she's open to voting for Memphis to win over Cody if they both happen to make Final Two because Cody has abandoned her. So this proves Day is bitter already because she thought she had a seat at the whites-only table. And here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of people on social media are starting to suspect that this entire season could be rigged for Memphis and Cody to make Final Two so it can become this narrative of who was better, Cody and Derek or Dan and Memphis. A lot of people think that that's the agenda right now. A lot of people think that. So for Davon to even mention that in passing on feeds, I don't know. Something tells me she's getting hints to those two being the special ones in production's eyes, maybe. I'm not sure. And since Memphis made a fake deal with David but upheld it due to Tyler not wanting to save Davon, Memphis's jury management isn't as bad as other members of the committee because he only wronged David, who he didn't break his deal with yet. So pretty much, ladies and gentlemen, those are my thoughts. And now I'm ready to answer y'all questions. Let's get it popping, man. Let's get it popping. Shout outs to y'all. Y'all have been patient with me. Oh, that was a complete hour right there. Hey, you know, I'm getting better at designing these rants exclusively to be like hit that hour mark and then answer questions. I'm getting better at it. But yeah, when it comes to that public shit, man, I'll do that shit in 30 minutes or 40 minutes. I get them fast food, Coach. Y'all get that gourmet chefing. You know what I'm saying? That gourmet. I wouldn't be surprised. Dan's funeral was hilarious. Her DR, she was crying, she gave up. Oh, you talking about Brittany? Oh, man, you know, I actually rewatched that on CBS All Access the other day because I was thinking about how, Ian couldn't do what Dan pulled off. So I was trying to watch what Dan did. And it's so funny because after Brittany got blindsided, I'll never forget it. Ian started that fight with Frank Udi. He was like, if any of you all let him make Final Two, he beats all of us. You're stupid. And honestly, I think that moment was Ian's balls dropped moment. We didn't see Ian's balls drop this entire season. We didn't see that at all. We just seen the boy's reputation drop. That's all we saw, ladies and gentlemen. CMX question, Dave, will you cover BB Can? Nah, bruh. I mean, well, I don't know if you're a bruh or not. I'm just saying, nah. After what they did to Anthony Douglas, fuck that show forever. Fuck it. I mean that with a passion. Strong passion. And the fact that you got to rely on BMX to watch feeds, and I got to stress this, y'all, BMX is just as racist as all these other places. Now, granted, if it's free and they're racist, I'll take that over paying racist, but still, I need y'all to understand, BMX, they ain't angels over there. I remember I used to be over there. This was around BB Can 7. Some of the stuff people would say about Queen Kaylin, it was just disrespectful, man. It was disrespectful. And see, I subconsciously just called her a queen for no reason, not based off gameplay, just because she's a black woman. And I don't subconsciously call David a king enough. And I'm gonna try to work on that too. If I'm gonna tell people we all need to work on it, I need to work on it too. I'm not above my own criticism, you know. But yeah. What's the BB neighbor shit, coach? Honestly, man, I just think that's the jury house. Rod, I truly believe that's the jury house. That's what because why wait till Thursday to reveal it? It's as if you want Ian to be settled in the jury house to have enough footage of him watching whatever to air it. That's what it feels like to me. But it's possible it could have been anything. They didn't have a seat at the table. They pulled up a chair to fit her in. They didn't even pull up a chair, Miss Mary. Can we keep it a bean? They gave her one of them, hey, you know how like you go to Chuck E. Cheese and they got the child seat and you pick the kid up and put him in it? They put Day in that. They treated her like a little baby this season, bruh. I'm saying, hey, CM, I'm not saying she ain't a queen. What I'm saying is I subconsciously call women queens but don't call men kings, and I need to do that more. That's what I'm saying. I need to be more balanced. That's what I'm saying. And I think we all need to be more balanced. So if any way you took that as me trying to say that Kaylin ain't shit, that's not what I'm trying to say here. I actually respect Kaylin. She actually followed me back until I deleted that old Twitter account. Mackie followed me too. Mackie, he recently got into it with Anthony Douglas. He was like, man, I would have truly loved it if Anthony would have stayed on code with me, man. Anthony was like, man, you were just a bad player, yo. You was saying a lot of dumb shit in the house. And it was true. It was true, man. It was true. It was funny. When I saw that interaction, I started laughing. Rod says, well, coach, will you cover another show besides the challenge? Oh, y'all know I'm covering the challenge. But I'm not sure, man. I got a few people telling me to get into that show Sequester. When this season's over, I'm gonna start watching Sequester, and I'm gonna start understanding the metagame first, and then I'm gonna see based off how I like it whether or not I want to cover it. I think that's a show that's a little bit safer. From what people are telling me, it's less racist, and it's just more interesting, more fun. And the people they bring on the show are gamers. They don't like look for recruits and stuff. They actually look for people. And I'm told Audrey from BB17 is who started it, so I might consider Sequester. I'm open to suggestions. Y'all know y'all gonna get that 13 Reasons Moist rant cast at some point. That's my evil maniacal laugh right there. Y'all gonna get that one at some point. Don't worry, it's coming. But I just haven't had the time to watch. You know, you gotta really like ingratiate yourself with that show to really break down why it's so bad. You know, I can't just watch one episode and then watch another one next week. I gotta watch it all in one go and take notes so I can go off. Dave, do you like The Circle? I tried getting into it, but it felt like catfish, you know? And actually Cody went up today. She told him, I'm done after this, right? And Cody was like, really? You wouldn't play again if they called you? She said, nah, if anything, I'll play The Circle. I'm a good catfish. So man, it sounds like Davon is mentally defeated beyond belief here to the point where she wouldn't even come back. Honestly, we didn't expect her to come back even if she won this season. But she has to know that she looks like a sore loser by telling people she won't play again while she's on the block. That's just not a good look. I mean, that's just as pathetic as Ian or Tyler saying they're going to quit if they're the first one to hit jury. It's pathetic. You know, keep that to yourself. That's none of anyone's business. Amanetter says Sequester has its own problems. You'll know after watching a few minis. Uh-oh. Oh, shit. Sounds like something... Sounds like something I need to go off on. Casimir says, you're done decoding the BB Matrix. After this season, I'm absolutely done, Kaz. It's over with, bro. I told y'all the All-Star cast deserved an All-Star analyst, so I'm here. Plus, I wanted to be around if some fuck shit happened. But never in my wildest dreams did I expect black people to go after each other like this. And in a way, it's even more of a blessing that I'm around because I really believe if I didn't cover this season and that would have happened, I really believe this community would have been in disarray. Straight black men would have had no voice, and it would have just looked terrible for all parties involved, man. White folks would have been laughing at us behind closed doors, you know, and it just would have been all bad. It would have just been all bad, yo. If you cover Survivor, I will watch. It's funny. I've only done one Survivor rant in my life, and that was a outplay, outlast. To this day, I think that's a classic rant. It was just me in the kitchen, not giving a fuck. That was a funny day. That was a funny day when I did that rant. Hey, I'm open to suggestions, man. Don't worry. I'm gonna put up a poll, just like I did when I first started my Patreon. I'm gonna put up another poll after this season, and y'all gonna be able to vote. I mean, we're close to 150 people almost now. Like, the vote's gonna be a lot more neck and neck than it was before. Before, everyone was like, "Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, I'll take that." So I just did all of them damn near on the list. You know, I did the 5 hour Last of Us 2. I finished the challenge. Of course, I'm on BB22. So yeah, I'm gonna have a poll up, and we gonna make it do what it do, baby. We gonna make it do what it do. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, definitely, y'all. We gonna be all right, man. Just know we don't need Big Brother. They need us, man. As long as we keep that mentality, we'll be fine, yo. Like, I went a whole year without covering this show or watching this show, y'all. It did wonders for me. Like, and I think that's another reason why my rants have been so good this season, because people had time away from me, so they realized how much they missed that energy. What I bring to the table is just different, man. It's like seeing the boogeyman on Raw. When you see a motherfucker eating a whole bunch of worms, you're like, this nigga different. But for some reason, I'm fixated on watching him eat more worms. Now, I'm not saying I'm eating worms right now. I'm just saying that at the end of the day, for the better or worse, I create spectacles in this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? While everybody else, they're just boring little bots talking. Okay, I was scrolling up to see if there's questions up top. There's none. So I'm just going to stay at the bottom. And if any of y'all posted something up top, Casimir, no, I'm not watching Power, actually. All of my family members are completely shocked, right? The majority of people are like, how can you not cover Power, Dave? You had so many people fucking with you. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I brought this up in a community post. Courtney Kemp and Lionsgate, they tried to copyright strike my channel and shut it down because of those 5 videos I did. Now, keep in mind, those 5 videos, yeah, I exposed a lot of shit and I kept it a bean. But at the end of the day, if you understand what fair use is where you can use a picture as long as you're using it for explanation purposes, right? I was using pictures as context to explain my opinion on a TV show. Power, well, Lionsgate and Courtney Kemp legitimately copyright struck the pictures themselves. Mind you, those pictures weren't in 1080p. They weren't the best quality. You know what I'm saying? Like in all reality, they were being petty. They were trying to send a message, and they don't want me covering their show. They only want Mark Dark covering it. And honestly, I think Power is going to fall off. Because without Ghost and Tommy together, the show ain't the same. That's like doing the Power Rangers without Tommy. My nigga, we only care about Tommy, the Green Ranger, the White Ranger, the Red Ranger, the Black Ranger. That man was every Ranger. Range Rover. You really dig me, coach? The Boys, now that goes hard, Casimir. I'm watching that shit hard. But see, that's kind of one of my guilty pleasures where I don't even want to recap a show. Like some shows I don't even want to recap because I just want to enjoy it. When you spend so much time watching live feeds, you like having a show that you can just decompress with. The Boys does that for me. It's comedy, it's action, it's nudity. Like it encompasses a lot of things together. Whitney asked the question, who had a worse weekend, Davon or the Atlanta Falcons? I like it. How about them Cowboys? Davon, because nobody worships the Falcons. Don DeMarco. Davon done created some atheists this weekend, coach. Hell no, boy. If motherfuckers could get debaptized, they would right now, Dave. You done fucked their heads up. People don't know what to do, boy. They got so much inner conflict in their soul right now. I want to stand her, but she cooned, yo. Man, this shit's funny to me, man. Man, this shit's funny to me. I don't know, man. Shit's wild. That shit funny, yo. That shit's super funny. My fault, ladies and gentlemen. I was looking at the stream playback and I was seeing it get choppy, and I was trying to see if there was something I can do to improve it. I was worried for a second y'all couldn't hear some of the shit I was saying. All right, but yeah, keep coming with the questions, y'all. I got time today, man. Let's get lit. I ain't see y'all last night. I missed y'all. What's good, Woozy? Hold on, let me give your Infinity Gauntlet, my guy. Give me a second. Okay, there it is. All right, Woozy, you now have your Infinity Gauntlet, my good sir, or ma'am. I mean, that's a name. That's an ambiguous name. Nobody beating your Lakers though. Hey man, hey, good luck. Hey man, listen man. Let's keep it let's keep it all the way funky. Hold on, let me mute myself because I'm hearing myself back and it's fucking up the shit I'm saying. Hey man, congrats to y'all, man. Let's be real. The only reason why this bubble exists is so LeBron could have his ritual championship win to basically say this was for Kobe. That's the whole purpose of this bubble, man. Any other time they would have said, "Hey, fuck all that shit, man. We'll do this next season." You know, but it's the context behind it, and I'm not really mad at them being able to pay their respects to Kobe in this way. My problem is this all looks like Kobe was murdered. It didn't look. It feels like it wasn't an accident. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to get too crazy, but if you know anything about what Kobe was up to around the time he died, he was supposed to be in court and he was supposed to sue a big pharmaceutical company for using the Black Mamba trademark. Okay? And I'm saying a lot of shit that maybe some of y'all don't know about, but understand, a lot of people believe Kobe got offed because as soon as he died on Wikipedia, they said he was assassinated. They didn't say tragic death, accidental death, okay? Yeah, you know how it is, Ubong. Whatever demonic shit's popping up. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, no, hey, if you a Laker fan, hey, more power to you, man. I ain't mad about it. To be honest, like I said earlier in this rant, this is probably the first time in my life, this lockdown, this quarantine, it's done wonders for me because I'm no longer dependent on a lot of vices. I used to be dependent on sports to enjoy my day. I don't need to watch sports. Like, I choose to, but I don't need it anymore. Like, I don't need Big Brother. I don't need Survivor. I don't need this. I don't need that. I thought I loved Watchmen. I didn't need Watchmen. I thought I liked Lovecraft. I don't need that moist shit. Like, at the end of the day, bro, like, I feel like this has stripped me of all of the materialistic things that I used to think mattered, and now I care more about what's really important. And that, in my opinion, is the saving grace of this quarantine. Rod says, Coach, what are some shows we should check out that you watch? Great question. The Boys, of course. Um, I'm also, you know what? Hold up. I can actually put you on game real quick. I've been watching a little bit of Cobra Kai on Netflix as well. The Social Dilemma is a great movie on Netflix for me to recommend. Um, Give me one more second because I actually have an app um, where, like, you know, they save all the recent things like you've been up to. Like, hold on, I can give y'all a good rundown on some of the shows I like to rock with. Oh, I forgot I put my phone on airplane mode so the stream wouldn't get bad. Hold up, let me put my phone back on Wi-Fi real quick. It ain't gonna take that long. Roughly 10 seconds, maybe. Hold on, let me take it off battery saver. That's also slowing me down. But yeah, so The Boys, I'd say Cobra Kai, Social Dilemma. I'm trying to get into this show called Dark right now. Um, but I'm kind of slipping on my pimping with that show. That's also on Netflix, by the way. Um, and see, that's the thing. When you're covering Big Brother and you got to watch live feeds, like this week is the one week where I've been afforded to not really to like enjoy myself more so. Um, but usually when you cover a show like this, you're constantly in Big Brother mode, right? It's like if this was a job, you never feel like you're off in a way. And that's why, you know, I try to give y'all a lot of content in a week, but I also try to have some, you know, days to myself as well. But for some reason this app ain't working, coach. Dang, I really wanted to put you on game with some of the shows I really rock with. Cause there's some shows I rock with. All right, I'll make a deal with y'all. I'll let y'all know those shows when I get. Matter of fact, I might have a different app. Hold up. Dang, I don't know why this stuff ain't working. What's going on, coach? What's going on? Shout outs to Marvin Gaye. What's going on? Um, Hold on. Let me bring up Netflix real quick and try to bring up some stuff that I like rocking with. See if I got something else in the tuck that I can put you on game with. I used to like the 100, but that show got a little too weird for me. I got to keep it a bean. Um, All American, of course, I love that show. Oh shit, did I freeze? Okay, I didn't freeze. All right, bet. I'm just getting choppy now because I got the internet back. Hold on, let me take that shit off. Yeah. To be honest with you, besides the boys right now, nothing really tickles my fancy. Pause. But yeah, I'm ready to answer some more questions, ladies and gentlemen. Let me scroll up to my comment. Hey, can you comment it back down, Coach? Because I didn't see what your comment was up top, and I don't watch P Valley Cast, but my big brother, he wants me to watch that so bad, yo. But see, he told me, see, that's the reason why I don't watch The Shy. Because my older brother, he keeps warning me, man, P Valley, they got this tranny dude that's like in charge of the strip. I'm like, man, I don't want to be subjected to that bullshit. Look, man, I can see naked women anytime, bro. Like I don't need a show with naked women on it, right? So it's all about the content that's good. Now, people are telling me the show itself is good. It's on Stars and stuff like that, but I don't know, man. A show centered around a strip club, my frequency is a bit too high to care about that right now. Um, that's the truth. Arrow, I used to love Arrow Tempest Prime. I got around like season 4, like after he fought against the dude. Who did he fight against? Ra's al Ghul. Like I remember the part where he dealt with Ra's al Ghul, and then he dealt with what was that, Slade or Deathstroke? Same guy basically. I remember those two things, and then him and the girl started living together. And then eventually they had to stop living in paradise and come back. And then I was like, okay, they just stretching this shit out. Then they ruined the Suicide Squad on that show. And I said, eh. But the first few seasons is good. I'm not going to hate. Dexter, that's a good show. Stranger Things is good. But I feel like every season is basically the same story. They just remix it a little bit. The Boys, Miss Selena, it's essentially, okay, oh, this is a great question. I can explain this well. Picture a superhero story that's rated M, right? But it's all about the idea of what if the superheroes were really super villains, but the media pushed a narrative that they were good guys when they are all like jackasses. And then you have these normal human beings who despise all these villains that act like they're heroes. They despise them and want revenge based off of things they did to ruin their life. So The Boys is essentially about these group of ordinary dudes with no powers trying to outsmart all of these superheroes that are on that fuck shit. It's really good. Without me spoiling any more, it's really good. The season 2 just started. I think episode 5 just happened, and it's getting crazy, man. It's low key getting crazy, man. I ain't gonna say nothing though, cause I want you to experience it for the first time, without really knowing much like I did. That's how you can truly enjoy. Dave, I would like to hear your zings. Ooh, all on the fly, huh? Davon, I don't know why you claim to be so woke. As soon as it came down to you and other black people, you seem to do nothing but choke. Zing! Like, I mean, I don't know, man. But at the end of the day, coach, it's the truth, though. Like Davon, you blew the bag, yo. You blew the bag. And see, a lot of women ain't gonna like me bringing up this point, but I must bring this point home. I think some of the reasons why Davon has a problem with David could stem from the fact that she is a single mother. A lot of people might not be willing to hear this yet, but sometimes when you're in a relationship and you think the shit is Disney Channel and it breaks off kind of bad, you tend to treat heterosexual black men, and they got to go through tons of work to break down your walls because you think niggas ain't shit for a while. Now, I'm not saying that's completely Davon, because she clearly came into this game not liking David. But with that said, if she truly was that reliant on Kimmy's word, her anecdotal evidence, I really don't understand why she even entertained the fake showman's arc. That's the one part that still confuses me to this day. The fact that Davon entertained that shit. It's so weird. Imagine if they would have put that into the edit. And then it led to this. Oh, man. So It could be a lot worse than it already is, y'all. But I'm sorry, Miss Vonnie, I don't really have more zings off the dome like that. I feel like my zings are my rants. You feel what I'm saying, Coach? And that's the truth, though. Because this whole rant has been a zing on Kevin and Davon's game. That's for damn sure. I got to keep it a bean in this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Oh, y'all fucked with that zing. Oh, I scrolled down. I thought it was a little light, but y'all rock with it. That's lit. It's lit then. You really dig me? Hold on. Selena came up with a zing. What's going on? Oh, Better Call Saul is lit, by the way, too, Rod. I see you. The Shy definitely did a big turn this season. See, man, I heard they made a dude in that show be in a relationship with a tranny. I'm like, yo, And I heard another dude they kicked off the show who was one of the most loved characters. I heard they kicked him off because he refused to be in that relationship with that tranny. So you see what they're doing to us, man. All these shows that are about street lifestyle and street politics, they trying to make it seem like there's always a gay dude around the corner that's hard, that's ready to fight. Like, no, nigga. In real life, the average gay dude is not ready to box. I'm being honest. He's not. Okay? He's trying to get boxed in. Let me stop. I'm fooling right now, man. But see, I do this for y'all. I rock with y'all, man. Come on, man. We got 4 minutes left, man. Y'all got more questions? Let's get it cracking. Whitney said, "Ruh-roh." He hit you with the Scooby-Doo. Season 5 and Season 6 of Arrow is winning really great, Dave. You should go back to watching it. You won't regret it. All right. That's a good testimony. All right. A testimony from Tempest. I think Day has issues with her baby daddy and her own father. There you go, Miss Vonnie. Listen, when you look at Bailey, right? She's in a strong household. Her family had money, stability. That creates a confidence in a child. The confidence to know that even if I fail, I'm coming back to a place, a safe space, where I won't be judged and where I will be empowered to fight again, right? I'm not saying Davon wasn't in a safe space like that. What I'm saying is this is the space Bailey is from. I'm not saying all women from the hood resent women from the burbs. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is Bailey's upbringing, why she's more willing to trust. It's the reason why her social game is easier and it doesn't grade as heavily as Davon's. And outside of the whole baby daddy situation with Davon that could be affecting her perspective towards straight black men right now. And by the way, I don't know why she thinks Anthony Douglas would entertain her after what she's pulled off this season. You're crazy. Now that's some shit right there, man. You know, we might have a better chance of her playing the challenge again than her pulling Anthony, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, so at the end of the day, Bailey being in such a strong family environment is why she had a need to make Swaggy step up to the plate to prove himself and to claim her, because she ain't gonna just be this side piece. She ain't gonna just be this trophy, right? Like, she comes with a whole different list of demands, and that's why Swaggy stepped his shit up once he got with her. Not saying he didn't have his shit together beforehand, but at the end of the day, you see the clothes this brother wearing now, and it don't got Swaggy C on it all the time no more. The brother is, he's grown up a lot from BB20. So my point is, when you're in a strong duo parent household, your perspective on life is different. And that's why I want to throw Davon a little bit of rope here, because sometimes we are victims of circumstances that aren't our fault, and these things impact our mental health in ways that we can't explain, and we lash out at people because we may see certain things in them of certain loved ones that abandoned us or treated us like shit, and then we approach that person with that anger that we would like to approach the other person with, right? Ooh, I'm talking that real shit tonight. I think this could be playing a role here as well. But with that said, Davon still got to hold her own ovaries. She's still out of pocket, and she's still full of shit, all right? She can get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. You feel it, dig me? Because I know plenty of sisters who grew up in single-parent households that have very strong families now, very strong husbands, very strong just family environments. They have an inviting personality, even no matter where they're from. So even though I'll give her some rope because I don't know her history, I also am not going to give her all the rope in the world because she could rise above it because of all these people worshiping her. So it is what it is. But yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, that has been 1 hour and 30 minutes. I hope you all have enjoyed this rant. Don't forget, I will be back very soon. But I feel like this rant kind of served the purpose of the Sunday night and the Wednesday nighter because we already know Davon's gone. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take a break for a couple of days and I will return for an exclusive Thursday night live stream right after the episode because at the end of the day, I'm not watching feeds till Thursday. All right, coach? So there's no need for a Wednesday rant. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, I really do rock with y'all a long way. And the fact that y'all stuck by me, even despite all the things I said, it lets me know that you know my heart is in the right place. Too bad everyone doesn't feel that way, but fuck them. You know? A wise man once said, all you need is 300 loyal people to change the world. And we already close to halfway there, coach. You feel it, dig me? So I truly rock with every single one of y'all, and I truly appreciate y'all coming through, showing the brothers some love. This was the 26th Big Brother 22 All-Stars Rant entitled Crabs in a Barrel. I'm Dave Smith with Recency Bias